What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? I think I'm live. Um, we'll wait just a second. So this is obviously my first live stream. Still working out the kinks. So I hope the volume is okay. I don't expect probably very many people to show up today. Because nobody knows who I am yet. But we'll just jump right into it. I don't think we need to wait any longer. So, what I'm going to do first here is actually kind of go over a few things about myself, what you can expect from the channel, kind of, who I am and what this channel is going to be all about. So, been in crypto for 4 years. Made some money last cycle. Rode most of it back down to the bottom, the bear market, like a lot of people do in their first bull market. I've made a promise to myself that I'm not going to make the same mistakes this time around. There'll be plenty of profit taking, because that's not a good feeling to be sitting, seeing all the gains and then watching it all go back down to, not zero, but a lot less than it was. So, I guess I want to help you guys and people out there not make the same mistakes that I made. Being that a lot of people are going to come into the market, in the next few months or so, once the halving occurs, and there's going to be a lot of people that have no idea what they're doing. And I, for one, as well as, some of the other YouTubers out there, can hopefully help navigate some people through, the process and the market. So I'm basically just doing this for fun. Everything is free. I'm not going to charge for anything. So it would be much appreciated if you just like and subscribe. If this sounds like a channel that, fits your style, that's the number one thing you can do to help the channel grow. So I'm basically going to tell it how it is. There's going to be no paid promotions ever on this channel. I'm not going to take money from anybody at any point to shill projects that I do not believe in. So there will be none of that. You guys, as an audience, feel free to shill me your favorite altcoins. If I think they're trash, then I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to give you reasons why I think they're trash. I'm not going to just tell you that they're trash because they are. I'll have the facts to back it up. I want to help people make money, not lose money. And in order to make money, you've got to be investing in good products, good fundamentals, good team, the whole 9 yards. And I pride myself on being able to find these products and weed out, the crap that's out there. 99% of projects out there are going to be, scams, are going to be terrible investments where retail, like you and I, aren't going to be able to make money on, very much money on. I want to make sure that myself and you guys included are not going to lose money, come this cycle. So I'm not a gem hunter, but I do hunt for gems. I know that sounds contradicting, but I do spend quite a few hours per week, going through and trying to find new upcoming, what you would call gems in a market that's very saturated with scam projects. So, I know that's contradicting, but I'm very picky with what I invest my hard-earned money in, and I think that you guys should also be picky on what you invest your hard-earned money in, because at the end of the day, you know, we work a lot of hours, you know, blood, sweat, and tears to earn this money, and you don't want to just throw it away. So that's part of what I do as well. You know, moving forward on a day-to-day basis, we'll cover some news, you know, we'll cover some charts. I'm not a chartist by any means, but I can look at a chart, especially an all-time chart, and I can tell almost immediately whether this project is worth investing in or not investing in. Majority of projects I look at, I can tell just by that if it's going to be a good project, and 99% of them I end right there because I don't want to get involved with something that's already rug pulled their, you know, investors at an earlier point in time. So we're gonna kind of, you know, go through and learn how to hunt for some gems. We'll talk, we'll laugh, we will make fun of some people, out of love, of course. Make sure you've got thick skin. In order to be in the crypto market, you should already have thick skin because it's not an easy market to navigate. Ups and downs. It's very volatile. So you need to have thick skin in general in order to be successful in this market. You can be in it, you know, without thick skin, but you're probably not going to do very well. So hopefully I can be somebody who can be a calming, you know, factor during those times, and kind of help some people through that process, because being in the market for even just 4 years, I have been through some absolute crazy stuff, and I don't bat an eye with, you know, a 20, 30, 40, 50% correction. I actually get excited when I see something like that. Providing that you're in a good project, you will learn to get excited when you have better buying opportunities with big red candles. So, I guess the next 18 months, we are basically going to party it up in this room, because life-changing money is going to be made. The prices are going to go up drastically in the next 12 to 18 months. So everybody's going to be happy. Everybody's going to be making a lot of money, and it's going to be fun times ahead. So, just to get that out of the way, if that's something that sounds good to you, please subscribe to the channel, and we can, you know, make this kind of a daily thing, every other day thing. I think right now I'm planning on streaming every other day. I still work a job, part-time job right now, so I've got some time to stream, and, you know, if things start to pick up, then we'll make it an everyday thing. So, that's that. Get that out of the way. I kind of want to show you, let's pull up the chart on KASPA. you don't know me, and probably nobody does at this point, but KASPA is my biggest holding moving forward into this bull run. I have absolute conviction in this product, in this project. It mirrors Bitcoin's fundamentals and tokenomics, and it's basically the best thing we've seen since Bitcoin. So that gets me really excited. For one, I mined a little bit early on, and I've also bought a lot of it through the last year or so. So it's my biggest holding, and it's not even close. Everything else is a very distant second. I think Bitcoin is actually my second biggest holding. Normally that wouldn't be the case, but I have a feeling this time around, the supply shock that's about to come, you know, in the next year or two, it scares me a little bit if I didn't have any. So I just want to make sure that I lock that up, and I plan on buying more after this cycle, but just in case, you know, something weird happens and there isn't any more to buy, I just want to make sure I have some. So let's pull up this chart. This is a pretty amazing chart right here over the last month, basically. This is the 4-hour chart. But these candles right here, a lot of people like to call them God candles. I like to call them the boner candles, because they are long and stiff, and they are really fun to look at on a chart, not in real life, obviously. I created this thumbnail yesterday, KASPA being in price discovery, and I woke up this morning, you know, getting ready for the live stream, and found out that KASPA has, you know, almost retraced all of those gains. So I'm like, okay, well, these long red candles here are what I like to call the I saw my grandma naked candle, because you retraced all of the boner back right inside. Nobody wants to see their grandma naked. So we did actually come back up, and we're almost back to where we were. So no big deal, just a short correction. I mean, we went up, what, pumped in, I think, from 10 cents to 19 cents in a matter of days. So a little correction. Probably more people were longing it, thinking it was going to go higher. They got liquidated, which probably, I would assume, maybe some people were taking profits that had, you know, been in it since early on. Some early buyers, some early miners maybe, took some profits, and then it was bought almost right back up. So that's good to see. I think KASPA in general is going to create a ton of life-changing wealth for people in the next couple years. I know the thumbnail says KASPA's in price discovery, do this now. And what you do now, you buy. That's what that means. Buy KASPA, continue to DCA, and money will come. Life-changing money will come. So, going over here to CoinMarketCap, we've got KASPA actually sitting at, where is it at? Number 23 overall. Think about how incredible that is, by the way. It doesn't have any tier 1 centralized exchanges yet. And not announced anyway. I think that those big boner candles that we just saw over the past couple days where actually exchanges, probably just one exchange buying. But nothing has been announced. It's not actually listed yet on any of the 5 biggest centralized exchanges. And I don't think there's ever been a cryptocurrency that has made its way up through the rankings so quickly without any exchange listings. Any tier 1 central exchange listings, I should say. It does have central exchange listings, but they're the smaller, sketchy ones. So it's incredible that it has gotten this far, this fast, without any of that happening yet. It doesn't have smart contracts yet either, which is another thing that's in the pipeline, which I think, will allow price to go higher than we think it does, as long as they fulfill, that during this bull run. It's one of those things where it's just, for somebody who's been in the crypto market for a while now, just to see this happening is pretty incredible. It's got an excellent community as well. Very strong community. So make sure that you're packing your bags with KASPA. You do not want to miss the train. I promise you that. So I think we're going to break into, let's be honest, KASPA's better than Uniswap. Immutable X, what does that do? It does nothing. Nobody, that I know talks about it. Nobody builds on it that I know about. What is it even doing there? Litecoin has failed. Bitcoin Cash is pretty much only bought because either somebody wants to send cryptocurrency and they're like a Bitcoin maxi and Bitcoin's too slow and expensive, so they buy Bitcoin Cash and they think that that's staying in the same, staying on the same team. But in actuality, it doesn't do anything. It's just a fork of Bitcoin and it's not used for anything at all. None of these projects, in my opinion, are doing much. Cardano, I hate to say it. I just read an article earlier today that said 75% of Cardano's products, or projects that are building on top of Cardano, are considered dead because of the activity on them. So it's not something I would... I did invest in Cardano last cycle, and that did a bunch of X's. I would not touch it from this cycle. I think this is going to drop right out of the top 10 and keep falling. May not be fast, but it'll happen. I can almost guarantee it. Avalanche, I don't like at all, but there is stuff going on Avalanche. Solana is actually a project I do like. There's a hell of a lot going on Solana right now. I expect Solana to be in the top 3 by the end of the bull market. Ethereum and Bitcoin, obviously. But just to get into the top 10, I don't think there's any question that all of these projects in front of KASPA, are not even close to as good. So, and if you don't know, KASPA has technically solved the trilemma. There's no smart contracts yet built on top of it. So I don't know that you can definitively say that yet, but with the speed that it has and the scalability and the security, all 3 points of the trilemma that nobody else can solve. They solve 1 or 2, but they can't solve all 3. KASPA has, tentatively accomplished. And I think that will come to fruition and come to life once smart contracts are implemented. And I think that they will be, within the next 2 years. So that's another thing to look forward to as well. I think that'll help price action. It'll just help everything about it. KASPA's not even, they're not even set out to build to deploy smart contracts. It's not what their use case is technically for, but I think that there will be smart contracts built on top of it, for the reason of, maybe they need a stable coin to transact with and stuff like that. Maybe dApps, will start building on top of them. Maybe there's meme coins that come out for fun. I don't know, but its main goal is to be a peer-to-peer payments platform. So there is some use cases already being used, not a whole lot yet, but it's I don't even know if you could call it a sleeping giant anymore. For me, it's not a sleeping giant. For a lot of people, it still might be, and I think it's still very early, even though we hit the $4 billion market cap as of yesterday or the day before. So, I can't say enough about it. It's just, I think, a staple that needs to be in your portfolio, and I think it needs to be a large percent of your portfolio. Just my opinion, but I know for a fact that I am not going to miss out on what could be considered the next coming of Bitcoin. So Satoshi Nakamoto has also been rumored, Jonathan Sopolinsky has been rumored, in some circles to possibly be Satoshi Nakamoto. So that being said, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting to say the least. So I think very soon here, probably within the next 3 months or so, 3 to 4 months, we're going to see easily inside the top 20, maybe top 15, and then it's just going to slowly keep moving up and gaining market value on all of these coins here. And I'm hoping we can sit inside this top 5. I think BNB potentially might fall out of the top 5. Tether might as well, because once we get into a full-blown bull market, people start selling their Tether to go into projects to make profit. So Tether will, assumingly drop out of the top 5 as well, short term, until we get into the next bear market, and then Tether's, market cap goes back up because people are taking profits back into the stable coin. So I think it's very soon. So pack your damn bags before it's too late. You're going to hear that a lot because it's real talk, and it needs to be hammered into people's brains that time is running out. So so that's that. My little KASPA spiel for the day. I wanted to look at this article, and not for any substance at all, because it's one of the most laughable articles I've ever seen in my life, but just for the price predictions that these so-called experts put out here in the wild, and I assume some people actually take seriously. Anybody who is in this market knows that these are completely laughable, but it's fun to look at nonetheless, because it just shows how uneducated, I guess, a lot of people, even people in the traditional finance, are when it comes to this market, because it just moves so much faster and smoother and than the traditional market. The gains are just so much larger. So anyways, I just wanted to show this real quick. Coming down here, it says, let's examine some of KASPA price predictions being made on January 24th. So this is a month ago that this was actually written, but it's still relevant because a month ago isn't that long. But it just goes to show, so January 2024, it is crucial to bear in mind that price forecasts, particularly for a potentially volatile asset like cryptocurrency, often turn out to be inaccurate. Go figure. Additionally, please remember that many long-term crypto price predictions are generated using algorithms, which mean they can change at any time. So I think that's one of the problems, is they're probably using some traditional finance stock market algorithm to do these, which is like super sandbagged. So you've got 3 predictions here, and they say by the end of 2024, price prediction 1 is going to be 20 cents. Price prediction 2 is going to be 13.7 cents. And price prediction 3 is going to be 24.9 cents. So we've already eclipsed this 13.7 cents by a long shot. And we're only, we're not even 2 months in to 2024 yet. So that just shows you right there how, how awful these people are at actually predicting prices. They don't take into account that the crypto market is basically just built around hype, and prices and market caps get so large and so overpriced for what they actually do and perform that it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But yet we ride the wave knowing that there's a lot of money in it for us. Me personally, I don't care necessarily that, the tech behind it. I do care a little bit because I think it's, revolutionary tech in a lot of cases. And I think it's kind of the next step to, banking and, how our world is going to operate, I guess you could say. I think the blockchain is going to be, fully implemented in the next probably 10 years with a lot of things, real estate, maybe, a bunch of things where you don't need, 7 different levels of mediums to, make a transaction or buy a house, or, there's a bunch of fluff in the middle with all these different companies that you've got to use that, just seem outdated, slow, and, not very efficient anymore. So I think blockchain will actually, take a lot of that and eliminate it, I guess you could say, make things more streamlined. So I do care about the tech, but I care more, let's be honest, most of us in this industry care about making money, and we want to make life-changing money, and that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to make life-changing money. So next predictions, 2025. Keep in mind that 2025 is going to be the top of the bull run this cycle, where everything is super heated. These guys don't take into account that, the 4-year cycles in general, and that at the end of the 4-year cycles, everything goes absolutely haywire parabolic. And with no rhyme or reason, everything just goes absolutely batshit crazy. And since Bitcoin's inception, there has been a 4-year cycle, and it's never wavered from that 4-year cycle. And I don't expect it to this time around. I'm going to continue to believe in the 4-year cycle until it proves me otherwise, proves me wrong. I'm not going to assume things are going to be different until they actually are different. And maybe that'll catch me off guard one of these days, but until that happens, I'm just going to assume 4-year cycle's still intact, and the middle to the end of 2025 is going to be absolutely insane. So keep in mind, these 2025 predictions are going to be during that parabolic run. They think that KASPA is going to be prediction 1, 22 cents, prediction 2, 20 cents, and prediction 3, 44 cents. Now, the interesting part about this is we are already knocking on the door of 20 cents. you know, we are sitting at around 18 cents right now, and we hit almost 19 cents yesterday. And I think, you know, within a matter of weeks, we're probably sitting above these two predictions that are set for 2025, next year. 44 cents will, in my opinion, be easily passed up this year. 2024, easily. I would argue that $1, KASPA price at $1 by the end of this year is reasonable. So these 2024 predictions are way low. 2025, you know, even lower because we'll be parabolic at this point. And then 2030 is technically a bear market, but it'll be the cycle after this. It won't be this cycle. It won't be next cycle. It'll be the cycle. It'll be the bear market after next cycle. So to come all the way back down to 72 cents, $1.27, or 84 cents after 2 cycles have gone by, I think is laughable, you know, for a lack of better words. So when you read stuff like this, I hope nobody actually does. And if you do, I hope it's just for, you know, comedic relief, comedy relief, however you say that, to get a laugh, because it's just unbelievable to me that these people, after 15 years, still don't know how to, you know, price these assets correctly. I guess the predictions were made by Coin Codex, and BitNation, and Digital Coin Price. I have no idea who any of those companies are, but they're obviously not very smart. So anyway, just something. I'm not going to read all of this because it's not worth reading, and it'll take up too much time, and it's super boring. But I just wanted to run it by everyone so that we could get a good laugh. As far as my price predictions, if we come over here to market cap of, great website, by the way, if you don't know about it or haven't used it, you can plug in any cryptocurrency that you want compared to any other cryptocurrency that you want, and you can compare them, and you can do today's price, or you can do the price of this second asset's all-time high, which would have been, you know, 2021. And so it's kind of cool to look at because you can get an idea, you know, of what you think's going to happen come next cycle, comparing it to a previous cycle's coin that, you know, you think might be comparable. So another cool thing you can do is you can put in, once you've got, like we put in KASPA here, I've already got this set up, and comparing it to Cardano, I think Cardano is a good comparison because given KASPA has much better tech, I think it's a much better project. The tokenomics, or everything about it's better. But ADA last cycle was fairly new, and it kind of rose up the ranks, and it didn't have smart contracts either. It was built on hype, kind of like KASPA is right now. And it still did, at cycle peak, a $95 billion market cap. And it had nothing. You could not build on it. You could not swap anything on it. You could literally just buy it and hold it in a wallet. And people, for some reason, you know, just based on hype, pumped that thing like 200x. So, and it made it into the top 10 market caps just based on that alone. So when I look at KASPA and I look at ADA from last cycle, I kind of see similar scenarios just for this cycle alone, if Cardano and ADA can go to a $95 billion market cap with literally no use case at all except for to buy, then I don't see any reason why KASPA, being far superior, cannot hit that same market cap. And you've also got to understand that this cycle, the overall market cap is going to be, you know, probably at least 3 times higher, because there's going to be more money coming in, there's going to be more institutions coming in, like all together as a whole, there's going to be a lot more money in the market. There's a lot of metrics right now that are saying people are coming out of the stock market and moving into the crypto market, moving out of the stock market and moving into Bitcoin ETFs if they want to stay in the same, you know, I guess interface that they've always been in, Fidelity, BlackRock, all that kind of stuff. It's an easy switch over for them. But in general, a lot more money is going to come in. I think the overall crypto market cap at the peak of last cycle was $3 trillion, if I remember correctly. And I think we're at least going to do, I think at bare minimum, on a bearish scenario, we do $6 trillion at the peak of the market this time around. I think that we actually go somewhere closer to $10 trillion when it's all said and done. And that will allow these top 10 projects to have a much higher market cap than they did last cycle. So when I look at, when we look at KASPA thinking that it's going to be a top 10 project, and we look at ADA, which was a top 10 project last cycle at a $95 billion market cap, you know, I would even say double that as a, you know, reasonable scenario. I would even say possibly a probable scenario that the top 10 market caps are at least double, you know, maybe triple, maybe even quadruple what they were, you know, previous cycle. And so if we're looking at KASPA with Cardano's previous all-time high market cap at 95 billion, we're looking at a, where's the number? Do I need to reset this? Oh, you know what it is I didn't, I need to take that out. So we're looking at a $4.17 KASPA price, which is almost a 23x from today. Now, you might say that that 23x is not that much money. You know, a lot of people out there looking for the 100x, 200x, 300x, which is possible, but I would challenge you to think about the fact that a 22x with an asset like KASPA is one of the safest risk to reward 23x's that you could possibly get in this whole market, in my opinion. Bitcoin's only going to do probably a 3x. Ethereum, maybe a 10x tops. And, you know, KASPA, even at a 23x, is doubling what Ethereum, you know, more than doubling what Ethereum could potentially do. And, you know, you think Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably the two safest projects to invest in. I would say KASPA is right underneath of that, along with Solana. I know a lot of people don't like Solana. But Solana, let's be honest, has done a pretty damn good job at onboarding people, onboarding developers, and just onboarding users in general with NFTs and all that kind of stuff. So you cannot fade Solana. I think you're going to get a bigger return on Solana than you would Ethereum, but I think, in my opinion, with the amount of gains that you can get and you want to play it safe, I think KASPA is by far the best, risk reward, return on your investment that you can make this cycle still to this day. Even after we just, pumped the last 2 days, I think we're still early. So let's just say it reaches this $95 billion market cap. You're looking at a $4.17 price for KASPA. I think is pretty reasonable. Could it do more? Absolutely, it could do more. Will it do more? I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict the market. But what I can predict and what I can do is invest in what I believe is the safest, best return on your money. So that's what I'm doing. And I suggest that a lot of you, that everybody has at least a portion. I think my portfolio right now is 40% roughly in KASPA. I actually wish it was a little higher. But the price is, getting a little more expensive. It's harder to up the average unless you sell something else for it that's already in the portfolio. I'm actually thinking about selling my Ethereum for it. Ethereum is actually kind of pumping right now, but so is KASPA. So I'm like hesitant to swap it at these prices. I wish we could get a pump from Ethereum and a slight correction in KASPA, and I would flip those right now. I still might do it, but I might be being too greedy to wait for a few cents here, a few cents there, rather than just doing it. But I still think that there's a possibility that KASPA actually hits a higher market cap than this. I don't see it going anywhere higher than a $200 billion market cap. I think that's pushing it, which would roughly probably double that price into the $8 range. I would love to see it. I don't know that that's as probable as it sounds on paper, but you never know. Crazy things happen when it comes to crypto bull markets. We could for all I know see a $20 KASPA. I don't think that's very probable either. In fact, I think it's kind of improbable, but is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. Anything's possible. Who would have thought last cycle that Solana went from 90 cents? I don't remember what price it launched at, but I know it was under $1 at one point. Who would have thought that Solana would have gone from under $1 all the way up to $250? I mean, I don't know that anybody saw that. I know they have a ton of VC backing, so they can pump the price higher, whereas something like KASPA is fairly launched with no VC backing at all, so it might be a slower climb up. But nothing's out of the question, so just something to think about. You can compare this to I like to compare it to Ethereum at today's prices, not at all-time high prices, because I don't think we're going to get that high. Obviously, not in this cycle, at least. But it's kind of cool to look at. ETH now, its market cap is at 361,000. I don't think we're going to get that high. But I think, you know, that would be an 89x, almost a 90x on your current price of KASPA at $15.89. Pipe dream, I think. But hey, you never know. Things can happen. Things that you don't expect can happen. So, fun website to play around on. I recommend it to everybody. Another cool thing you can do as well, I'm going to go back to the Cardano one real quick because I think it's a little more realistic. At its previous all-time high, you can put your amount in here. So, you know, I played around with some amounts of like what you would need for this amount, what you would need for that amount. But let's just say like a good target for a lot of people is 100,000 KASPA, and it'll tell you the dollar amount of what you would have, you know, come all-time high if KASPA did hit this $95 billion market cap. So, you know, if you have 100,000 KASPA right now, at the top of the bull run, if it does hit this $95 billion market cap, you would be sitting on $417,000. And in my opinion, that's not too bad. Especially if you got in early and, you know, you didn't pay all that much for your 100,000. Even if you paid $100,000 for it, or excuse me, even if you bought $100,000 right now at the current price, you know, you're still making a good investment, good return on your investment. So, anyways, you can play around with this. You can use, you know, Bitcoin, Solana, any coin you want and compare. And you don't even have to use KASPA over here. You can use anything you want over here too. It's a fun website to play around on, kind of get an idea of, you know, what your profits could be come 2025 in the bull run. So, next, I kind of wanted to just go over some kind of my favorite method of how I look for new projects. A good rule of thumb when you're investing in the crypto market, I like to have a couple safe plays because, you know, some older projects that have been around for a while that are tried, you know, battle tested, proven, like a Bitcoin, like an Ethereum. I would even throw Solana into that realm of projects at this point. Just in case some of these newer projects don't pan out. But you don't want to have your whole... I mean, you can. You're just not going to make life-changing money unless you start out with a very large amount of money in the beginning. You're not going to make a ton of money holding on to Bitcoin, holding on to Ethereum. You might make a little more on Solana, but Solana's already gone from, you know, $8 in the bear market to 100. It's already done a lot of X's, so I'm not sure what we're looking at as far as gains for the rest of the cycle for it, as far as X's go. So it's good to hold some of those because you're not going to lose money on those. You know that you're going to make some profit, but I would say this is just my investment theory, is to not hold any more than 50%, especially if you really want to make life-changing money. You know, hold 50%, 50, in a couple, you know, 1, 2, or 3 of these big caps that you know are not going to go anywhere. And, you know, I'm tempted to even throw KASPA into that mix now, because although it hasn't really been battle tested, it hasn't been around, I think just the sheer fact that it's going to solve the trilemma is going to put it into this, you know, top 5 category of come next cycle, and I'm just projecting out. I obviously don't know this for a fact, but it's a gut feeling, and I like to go with my gut feelings. They tend to play out on the positive side more often than not. So having a large percentage of KASPA, I think, also is a very good, you know, in that top 50% is a very good strategy for the cycle. Like I said before, it hasn't been battle tested yet, but if you invest in something that's already been battle tested, you're too late. You're not going to see the type of returns that are going to be life-changing for somebody who comes into the market with not so much money, you know, like a lot of us are. You have to take risks, and I think one of the best risks to take this market cycle is going to be KASPA. So you have to take risks if you want to make life-changing money. And I think KASPA has now gotten to a $4 billion market cap. Some will say that, you know, it actually is getting kind of up there in the market cap, where, you know, if you don't already have some, I would definitely buy some, but I would wait for pullbacks at this point, because if you need to get more, because it's just kind of a, you know, the market cap's getting a little larger. But the flip side to that is it's not listed on any centralized, tier 1 centralized exchanges yet. So that's when the big pumps start to come in. So, you know, you look at it from that perspective, we're still very early, and, you know, I would say buying them up until tier 1 centralized exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, Gemini, Kraken, Crypto.com, start listing KASPA. I think, you know, you're still in a good buy zone. So you kind of have to weigh how much you have with, you know, what's coming in the future type scenario. So what I like to do is actually look at some of these smaller micro caps and kind of weed through them and see if we can find any so-called gems that are sitting out there, right? A lot of them are going to be risky as all hell, but you're also going to find some that are going to potentially 100, 200, 300, you know, if you get super lucky, 1000x. And you could overnight become very wealthy, you know. And by overnight, I mean, you know, unless you're, you know, day trading meme coins or something like that. I mean, you know, within the next 12 to 18 months, become very wealthy. Some meme coins I actually am invested in. I like Pepe. I think that has a decent future for this upcoming bull run. And a few other as well. But I put very little amount of money into those. As far as percentage-wise in my portfolio, I keep them at 1% or under. Most of them are like 0.5%. Some of them even less than that, because majority of them are going to be scams, and you're going to get pump and dumped on. But I like to come look at crypto bubbles, and if you go up into the corners here, let me shrink this so you guys can see the whole screen. I don't know why it got bigger. if you come up into the corner here, you see you can, there's pages. This is by market cap, number 1 to 100 project, 100 to 200, 2 to 300, and all the way up till you get to 900 to 1,000. I like to start on the 900 to 1,000 ranking on CoinMarketCap and just scroll down. These bubbles are distracting, but if you scroll down here, you get a list of all the projects. And I filter them by which ones have not been around for a year yet. So you're going to get these top ones that obviously have been around for over a year. I scroll down, and when you've got a blank here, they're under a year old. And then if you get a second blank, you know, the further you go down, the newer the project is. But I like to, on a fairly regular basis, just, you know, scroll through and kind of look at these projects. Most of these I have already filtered out. So we're not going to really click on a bunch of them here today, but I will kind of go through a couple just to kind of show you. So, for instance, let's just say, a lot of times too, the name does, I don't know, I look at the name, and if the name sounds stupid, then that's automatically a turnoff for me to invest. That might be weird to a lot of you, but a lot of the projects that do well have a catchy or kind of a smooth name and logo to them. So, you know, you look at things like, you know, Snailbrook, and to me that doesn't sound good. And I look over here and I see the 3 zeros before, and that automatically makes me think of a meme coin. I don't really like investing in a ton of meme coins. I usually pass them up. But let's, for instance, just for, you know, the sake of the video here, let's click on here, and what I do is I'll click on this icon for CoinMarketCap, and that'll bring up CoinMarketCap's webpage. If my internet would be so kind as to speed up for here. So after I look at the name and after I look at the logo and kind of just get an idea of whether this could potentially be something cool to look at, I go into here to CoinMarketCap and I click on this all-time chart. This chart doesn't look terrible. It's had some ups and downs, but it's not the worst chart I've ever seen. It's something that I might, if everything else checked out before that, take a further look at. Because this chart doesn't necessarily turn me off completely. What I'll do afterwards, you know, I'll look at the market cap, 13 million, that's super low. You can make astronomical multiples on it if it catches steam, but it could also go to 0 tomorrow and nobody will remember it or bat an eye. Now, third thing I look at is the exchanges. Automatically, after I look at the chart, if the chart is okay or looks good to me, I look at the exchanges. And this one automatically is a no-go for me because it has one centralized exchange. Bitmart, I don't like that exchange necessarily, although I have used it. I would like it to have, you know, at least 3 or 4, being as new as it is, centralized exchanges by that point. I would like even more than that. How old is this? So it looks like May of, so it's like 8 months and 8, 9 months old. I would expect it to have, you know, probably even more than 3 or 4 centralized exchanges at this point. So this is an automatic no for me. So it's very easy to weed them out very simply just off of chart and exchange listings. And then, you know, by the name and the logo, if you want to go that far. So I immediately say no to this project, and we'll click out of that. Let me find, so there's a project here that I do like. I haven't invested in it, but Orange. I do like the project, and I like the name. I like the logo. It's like a little orange pill. I think that that's catchy, and when I click into the chart, you know, I looked at this a number of weeks ago. I don't think the chart's going to look as good as it did back then because it has since taken kind of a dump. But still, this chart does not look bad at all. It's holding a higher low after its initial run up. And this chart, in my opinion, looks very good. It's not the best chart that I've seen, but it looks very good, in my opinion. So I come down here and look at, we're only at a $9 million market cap. That's extremely low. We come down here and we look at exchange listings. It's a very new project. It's only been out for I think this looks like the 6th of February, so not even a month yet. And it's listed on MEXC, Gate.io, BitGet, Bitmart, OKX, I think, or is that OKX Ordinals? Maybe it is OKX, or maybe that's a DEX on Bitcoin. I'm not sure. I think that's the exchange, though. Either way, I don't know what HOTS coin is, but that looks like a centralized exchange as well. So for how new the project is, it's got quite a bit of centralized exchange listings, which is what I like to see. Because let's be honest, the retail investors that come in the space, they do not know how to use a DEX, like some of us that have been in the space for a while. I use DEXs. I also use centralized exchanges. But let's be honest, a DEX is not the easiest thing to get used to. It's not the easiest thing to use for somebody who's brand new into the space. So these new people are going to be signing up for centralized exchanges, and that's what they're going to be using to buy their cryptos that they want to buy. So I think, very importantly, centralized exchange listings, and a plethora of them, are very important. And it's a good thing to look for cryptos that also are not listed. They have centralized exchange listings, the smaller ones, but they don't have the top tier 1 exchange listings yet. Because a good rule of thumb is to buy these cryptos before they're listed on the tier 1 exchanges, where most of the volume is going to get eaten up. And your retail, real normie investors aren't going to buy until, you know, they see the project on Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance, you know, Gemini, whatever exchange that they use. So mostly, you know, Coinbase is the, you know, the one that you're looking forward to, the granddaddy of them all, which will really pump the project. So it's good to have exchange listings, but you don't want to see in here any of those, you know, top 5 tier 1 exchange listings. So this is a good site. It's got the smaller ones. It doesn't have big exchange listings yet. So the market cap's super low. The chart looks really good. It checks all of the boxes that I look for when it comes to the first few steps. Now we go in and we want to look at what the use case is for this crypto. So what I typically do is scroll down and I go to their website, because that's where you'll get better information. So what this is doing, Bitcoin meets DeFi and Web3. I'm going to expand this a little bit now so that that's a little more visible. Maybe move this over. We'll block out the fireplace for a minute. But we got Bitcoin meets DeFi and Web3, which is intriguing. It's a decentralized finance DeFi ecosystem of products to help you access and manage your Bitcoin, your ERC20, your stacks, your ordinals, and your NFTs. So what it sounds like is it's a marketplace where you can store all of your Bitcoin-related projects and NFTs and your Bitcoin itself all in one place, which I think is kind of cool, actually. Some might say, well, it's like a MetaMask, which it kind of might be. You can store NFTs, you can store, your Ethereum, you can store kind of all your different projects and ERC20 projects in your MetaMask wallet. So this might be kind of similar. I haven't downloaded, this, I guess it's a wallet. I haven't downloaded this to see what the interface looks like or how user-friendly it is. So, like I said, I haven't invested in it either. But I do like the project, and it's something that I am looking at. It's on a watch list of mine, and I might buy into at some point. Especially after that initial dump that it took over here. It hasn't retraced back down, and it's still sitting at a pretty reasonable level, at a higher low, and it's kind of going sideways here for a little while, which I like to see. So could it have found its bottom and, potentially going to trend upwards again, possibly? So this is something, like I said, that I am looking into. The next step after you identify that the use case is, pretty good, and I do like this use case. I think it's good to have a, I guess a platform where you can store, if you're like a Bitcoin maxi to some extent, and you want to stay on the Bitcoin or in the Bitcoin ecosystem, you're able to keep all of your stuff in one place. You can get it off of exchanges, you can get it off of these bridges that bridge back and forth. You can kind of keep it in one space in the Bitcoin ecosystem, in one wallet, which I think is, I think it's needed for Bitcoin. So I do like the ecosystem. Next up, once we've identified that we like that, we want to make sure that the team is doxed. So normally on their website, they'll have a link, if they're going to be transparent about everything, a link that'll, dox their team. About ecosystem benefits. I don't see it on here. I've seen the team before though, so I know that they're doxed, because like I said, I have looked in to the project. If you can't find it on their website, sometimes you can Google search the ticker name Orange Crypto team, and you'll be able to pull it up. The team itself had experience working for like some bigger companies like Google and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. Let me, for the sake of the video, just find the team, since the website's not giving me any info. Let me see here. My keyboard's in an awkward spot with my microphone and stuff in front of me, so that's why I'm leaning over it when it is that. No, I just want the Google search bar. There we go. And we'll type in crypto too, because a lot of times they don't. Enter button. Okay, so here, so right here in the doc, so it was in the white paper. I didn't see the white paper. I probably didn't look deep enough on the website, but sometimes it's easier to just Google search it and you'll find it. So you'll see the team. Where are their photos? Okay, so they don't have photos, but their team, I've seen a page where the photos are visible, but you'll see the team here, the CEO, their LinkedIn is attached as well. So like one of these guys, this guy's had experience with Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, and Google. You know, Microsoft. So it looks like they've had some decent experience. Usually what I'll do is I'll go into the LinkedIn accounts and get a more detailed explanation of what they actually did for, you know, Amazon and Google, and make sure all that clicks and how long they were there, what their role was there, and all that kind of stuff. Before, you know, you can just read this on its surface and say, oh, they're great because they worked for all these companies. But I mean, you go in deeper and it says they were janitor and they clean the bathrooms for all we know. So it's good to go into the LinkedIn account and actually see their job descriptions and what they've actually done. Because if they were the janitor at Google, then I probably wouldn't invest into their crypto company startup. So, and I wouldn't recommend you do that either. So good rule of thumb is to just go a little deeper into their LinkedIn. And once the team has, you know, once you're happy and the team looks good, you know, you're kind of looking at, you know, you could look at this first, but the while you were looking at the actual market cap. But it's good to look at the fully diluted market cap as well. And anything under 100, I would say anything under 100 million is usually pretty good. Once you get up to like the 1 billion fully diluted market cap, you're getting really up there. If all the tokens were in circulation right now, that would be the market cap. So it's kind of a good rule of thumb as well to try and keep this fully diluted market cap when you're searching for these gems like this under 100 or right around the $100 million mark. Or growth potential. You'll get a lot more growth potential out of a coin that's sitting at a lower fully diluted market cap. So this passes that check mark as well, which is why I went in here and showed you all of this, because this is a crypto that I would potentially buy after going through all of the different steps. So if you just continue to do that, you know, down the list with all of these that have not been in circulation, have not been launched for more than a year, you'll come across some really good ones every once in a while. For me, I'm extremely strict. which is why I haven't even invested into Orange yet. You know, it's very difficult to go through all of those steps and all of them, you know, check out. Majority of these, you're gonna be turned away, you know, within the first, just by looking at the chart a lot of times. And then you look at the exchanges, a lot of them are just listed on decentralized exchanges, on dexes, and there's not a whole lot of money to be made there because, like we were talking about earlier, most retail investors, when they come in, are not going to be, you know, running through and swapping things on dexes because it's just not that easy to do yet. It's not that streamlined yet. Maybe next market cycle or the one after, things will be more streamlined, and you know, we'll see more of that if the technology gets a little bit easier to use. But for now, centralized exchanges is where most people are going to go buy, and most, you know, most pumping potential is going to be. So I'm sorry if you heard my dog in the background. I don't know if you can hear him on the mic. He barks a lot, so if he keeps barking, I'll have to go murder him in the other room. Just kidding. I love my dog. But he does bark a lot. He can be annoying. So I apologize. But so that's kind of the rule of thumb. I'm not going to go through all of this right now. We're kind of sitting at over an hour mark already. I didn't even think I'd be able to talk for that long because I can't imagine that very many people have entered the stream at this point. But being that I'm so new on YouTube. That being said, if you're interested in that type of thing, there's other ways to look at these and find newer projects as well. This is just one of the many. This is my favorite one that I use because it's colorful and you can see, you know, everything kind of on one screen. Even over here on the right-hand side, you can see some of the exchange listings, so you don't even have to, you know, look at that on the next page. It kind of just gives you a lot of things in one area, and I'm a visual person, so I like to visually look at things. So that being said, I think I'm going to sign off for the day. I will be back on for a live stream on, what is today, Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? I think so. Yeah, it's Tuesday, so I will be back on Thursday for another live stream. So make sure to check it out, you know, and please, like I said, if you like the content, if you feel like this community and this atmosphere suits you well, it would be much appreciated for a subscribe. Also, you know what I forgot to mention earlier? It completely evaded me, but I am actually going to do a giveaway as well. Once it's not going to be, well, I mean, it could be next week for all I know, but it might not be for a little while. I'm not going to do the giveaway until I hit 1,000 subscribers, and that's a tall ask because of right now I don't have very many, but the giveaway is actually pretty special. And unfortunately, I only bought one of these, and I'm going to give it away reluctantly. I should have bought two so I could hold on to one myself, but the Tangem wallet, KASPA edition, I've got one of these still in the package that's just sitting, you know, in my room here in my office, and I think you can see it with a little bit of glare in the background. Let me turn this off. Get this screen off of here. but you can see it here. I'm going to give this away to one of my subscribers once we hit 1,000. So you'll be a 1 in 1,000 chance to win this. And we're going to do the drawing whenever that happens. I don't know if, you know, if it's going to happen fast. I don't know if it's going to happen slowly. I don't know if it's going to, you know, be 3 years from now for all I know. But I think that's exciting because I was excited to get that in the mail. And then when I decided to start doing YouTube, I was like, you know what? I don't really need this. I actually have 2 other Tangem wallets. And I don't really need it. All it is black cards with a KASPA logo, but it's, you know, it's, they're not going to make any more. So it's a cool thing to have. But I think, you know, I think I'm going to give it away. So, and there'll be other, you know, giveaways as well in the future. There will be other things, you know, out in the future that we're going to do that are going to, you know, upgrade and make things better on the channel. But like I said, I'm not even computer illiterate at all. So even getting to this point was a little hard for me. I'm, you know, very knowledgeable in the crypto space, but like trying to get all these like things that work in the background for live streaming and stuff, kind of difficult for me. So things will get better. Things will get more streamlined. Things will get hopefully more entertaining. We'll do some things, more giveaways and stuff like that at a certain point in time. But if you do like the content and you do want to potentially win that Tangem wallet, KASPA edition, definitely hit the subscribe button. You don't have to like the video, but I'd appreciate if you did. Just hitting the subscribe button will get you entered because you're going to be in the first, you know, 1,000 subscribers. So that'll automatically enter you in. And when we reach that point, we'll draw a name, and you know, I'll send it out to whoever wins it. So I think it's pretty cool, and I hope you guys like the content. And I think we're gonna end it for the day. But like I said, I'll be on in a couple days again, and we'll see you then. So I appreciate you coming in, appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody who commented. And Crypto Capstone looks like, I appreciate the comment. And we will see you guys next time in the video. Peace out. And have a good night or morning, depending on where you are in the world.